folks, so here we have the Norman / Crusader Army Showcase. So I wanted to show you what I've been working on with this army. I've been painting it in kind of batches over the past couple years. So we'll go through and I'll show you what we've been working on here. So we'll start from kind of left to right or right to left here on this flank. So right in front, we've got the first character. So this is Bishop Odo from Footsore Miniatures. I thought he looked pretty sweet. Got the club, but he could, I think, fill in pretty well. You know, this was a specific character during the Norman conquest, but I think he could fit in pretty well for pretty much any of the Normans' wars. So that is one of our commanders. So moving back, we got our next unit here. So these are kind of some more generic knights. These are the ones mainly overhand. So in the earlier Norman period, you know, or there's some speculation anyways, when the couched lance was actually first used on the Bayeux tapestry, they're using spears overhand. These could also be Breton knights who are maybe throwing javelins. So that's our first unit there. So then moving back, we've got a unit of unarmored lancers. So these could be squires or sergeants, non-nobles or retainers. These all these cavalry here from Footsore Miniatures. I really like these guys. They all have the Norman haircuts, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, some retainers, and these could be in like the back of a formation mixed in with the knights. So these troops here are probably only really for the Crusades. So these are Turcopoles. So these were basically locals who joined in with the Crusaders. They were in very high demand. The Crusaders never really had the number of them that they would have liked, and they were, you know, at least it seems somewhat inferior to the Turkic horse archers. So you know, in a number of key battles, they're kind of more of a holding force than really a battle winning force. Of course, where they really probably were most vital was in skirmishing. And these are actually from First Corps Miniatures. Some of the helmets are maybe like a little later period, but I think these work fine with this kind of earlier crusading force, and they could also work with the later crusading forces as well. So we'll hop over here. So here we have got the Army General, my favorite figure from the whole army. He's from Footsore Miniatures, leading the charge there. And then we've got his retainers in back, so kind of the elite knights. These, again, all Footsore Miniatures, except for those First Corps Turcopole horse archers. So these guys, I did them all with those red and white striped barber pole lances to kind of show that they were the retainers. So then we've got another unit of kind of generic knights, I guess you could say. This time all with the couched lances. They've got the banners and everything. I really do like the flag. I thought it came out pretty nicely. All right, so our last unit of cavalry, these are supposed to be Breton light horsemen. So these would be kind of more, you know, in your 1066 or campaigns in France. At a certain point, so the Bretons were kind of famous for being skirmishers. At a certain point, they kind of started fighting like everyone else. They stopped doing the kind of skirmishing thing. But that's what these are supposed to be, Breton skirmishers. So now we'll get into the infantry. So first unit here is a unit of crossbowmen. So these are all Footsore Miniatures. There aren't any plastic crossbowmen out yet that I really like. So, you know, I think there's the Fireforge ones, and that's it. Personally, looking at them, I didn't quite like the look of them. So I ended up going with the footsore metals. Really nice figures, at least, I think. So I think my favorite guy is this one, shooting right in the front. I mixed in some armored command as well. So yeah, there is some evidence that crossbows were used in 1066. In the crusading period, certainly they were extremely important. And part of that was, you know, a bow takes some skill to learn. You can really press a crossbow into anyone's hands, and the crusading states were always desperate for manpower. So, you know, kind of getting these militia types to fill out the army, you know, anyone could use the crossbow basically, and that was a good way to combat the horse archers of the enemies as well. So we got our next unit of infantry. So these are kind of you know, generic Norman infantry. These are Victrix plastics. So I mixed the armored and unarmored troops. I would use these as like foot sergeants or similar. Then in the back, so I decided to do a more themed unit just for kind of fun. So these are kind of like Knights Hospitaller themed army, themed unit. Again, similar, I mixed unarmored and armored troops. And I also included some monks from the Saxon set in there too. So I really like the guy at the front with the horn, but I also included some of those Saxon monks to kind of represent sort of like brother knights, I guess you could say. That was kind of a little conversion with the crossbow. That figure in the back. So yeah, the Victrix Norman set is probably one of my favorites. And after kind of bringing out this collection, I still have more to paint. So I was kind of thinking of taking a break from the Normans, but I might actually keep working on this army. So I did a Crusades battle report the other day. I am kind of interested in doing some of the civil wars between the different Norman factions in the wake of the death of William the Conqueror, the fights between his sons. So maybe we'll add some more infantry and do some of those battles. But yeah, that is the Norman showcase.